Live. Yes, we really do enjoy this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be another exciting episode regarding relationship revelations. My name is Marvin Kane. I'm your host. You're on our channel, Love is Not Judgmental, where everyone's perspective counts. Your opinion counts. What matters to you, it matters to us. And of course, these are always just our opinions. You have your opinions about relationships. So I am just your guide. I'm not your leader. I'm not a guru. I don't have all the answers. But it's a worthy discussion that we like to have on a variety of topics all around the center of H gap relationships. So before we get started about know this first before you marry an older man, a lot of details that need to be considered, things that women need to do to protect themselves. And it does go vice versa, but today we're talking about the younger woman marrying an older man. So grab your coffee, it's time to get cozy, and let's get into it. But before we start, please, if you have not already, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like and share. We really do appreciate it. And enjoy the video. But let's talk about the initial attraction that's held between an older man and a younger woman. So you've fallen for an older man. We're talking to the younger women out there. And for the older men, listen so you know where their mind is when this happens. So, what's the allure? Well, it's not just about the salt and pepper and the wisdom, but it's also about those unique qualities that make an individual an individual. There's just that chemistry. It's just, based on your life's experience and based on their life experience, they're just things about another person that you're just going to find attractive. And for men listening, you can't control that. You just have to be what it is. So the thing is, you want to always be real as a man to identify who you are as a person, the same as it's required of a woman. So no games here. Everything's serious. All the cards are now coming out on the table. So for some men, yeah, true, we see a beautiful woman, we're attracted. A younger woman, maybe not so on the youthfulness of her, but just for the fact that she's neat, she's clean, she looks good, she's easy on the eyes. It's not really about that physical thing. That's a stereotype that a lot of people have. It's what could become, but it's got to start with that conversation. See, yes, men are truly attracted by what we see, but as we develop, as we get older, you've seen a lot of beautiful women by the time you turn 55 years of age, as I am. And so you start to realize you need something with a little more substance. So, yeah, she's pretty. Conversation might even start because of that. But the conversation will not proceed if she does not reveal to you her character. And that's the kind of man that you're interested in, women. Not the man that's just going, oh, you're so beautiful. That's nice to hear. And it's great for him to say it. And he needs to say it every day. Man should tell you every day how beautiful you are. And beauty is understood to be not just the physical part, but also who you are as a character inside. If a man says you're gorgeous, see, that's empty. That just means he sees your beauty, your outer beauty, but not your inner beauty. So there are a lot of gorgeous people out there. But to a man, older man, you're the only one. You're the truly beauty of his life. And you need to know that you are. So these are some questions that you need to find out. And sometimes I see people do this all the time. They develop relationships, but they don't develop the exclusivity of the relationship. So people are looking, you're just one of the ones they're looking for, but they actually are, in the eyes of other people, maybe one or two other people. What we're saying is you need to know this. You need to know that the road that you're on is leading to something. Because if you don't, you become hopeless and then helpless and then heartful. Your heart's going to ache. So these are the things that we call maturity. And that's why on this channel, when we talk about age gap relationships, we're not talking to teenagers. We're not talking to people who've not developed to maturity because maturity is based on many, many different things, especially experiences. But to appreciate the abundance of life's experience has to do with the solidification of the brain getting solid, getting hard, no longer, you know, mushy, where it's soft, no longer that. See, and that usually happens for men between the ages of 25 and 27, and for women between the ages of 23 and 25. And that's according to studies, and there's a lot of different studies out there, but that particular study that I'm referencing is one that I find quite reliable. And you really notice it, especially I've noticed this with my own children, that my daughters about the age of 23, 24 became more confidants to me. I could talk to them on a totally different level. With my son's older son, this happened when he would get into his later 20s, but then, time changes, life changes, people change. So one of the benefits of dating an older man is his life experience. Get him to tell you stories. You need to know where he's been so you can try to figure out where the two of you might be going in the future. They've been through it all, and maturity can provide stability. See, you got to get away from thinking that stability is always about finances and money. When we talk about an older man's stability, we're also talking about his stake in life based on his experiences. See, the last thing that a woman needs is to be caught up with a man that doesn't know who he is. There are a lot of people like that. I've got a really good friend, and we're about the same age. I've got a couple of friends actually, we're about the same age. And the individual I'm thinking of, he acts like a teenager. He reasons like a teenager. He thinks like a teenager. He responds to life like a teenager. How do I know? Because I've had, you know, 5 teenagers. And I know what that teenage cycle is like, but that's where he seems to be stuck. And he's a married man. And it's frustrating for his wife. I don't talk to her, but she talks to others. And, unfortunately, people share information. And I don't like to hear stories unless they're being told to me directly by the people involved. So I'm always shunning. Look, I'll wait for them to tell me. I'll wait for him to tell me. I'll wait for her to tell me. I don't want to hear about it, but I heard about it. It happens. So those guidances and relationships, I mean, they're huge. They offer many, many benefits. Communication, we can't say it enough. Communication is definitely the thing that we need to be paying attention to, because there's an expectation that comes with communication. When people are talking to you, you're expecting them to tell you the truth. And to make age gap relationships work, communication is at the top of the list. I mean, you're not going anywhere. Excuse me, losing my voice. You're not going to go anywhere, or you're not going to go really far into the dynamics of the relationship if you're not having really good, heartfelt discussions. I mean, you have to ensure that both of your expectations are being heard, because you've got to talk about your goals. You've got to talk about your future plans. I mean, if you're not even married yet, but this is your fiance, and that's another thing you'll notice about this channel. We always talk about marriage, because that's truly the relationship that counts. If you get to the point of marriage, that's where we really pick up our conversations on most of our videos. But if you are dating someone pre-marriage and you are fiancés to each other, the communication game, because that's what this discussion is about. What happens before? What are you going to talk about before? And you need to have these deep conversations so that you avoid misunderstandings. And it's weird in relationships because misunderstandings can be troublesome. Something as simple as, what is your favorite color? Mine's black, yours is blue. Yours should be blue because theirs is blue. And then later you present them with a gift, it's your favorite color, and you give them black. And they're like, that's not my favorite color. As you start to get used to people, the gloves come off and you start to settle into a certain level of reality. Sometimes the littlest, silliest things that would never have bothered you 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, as you get older, they start to become big deals. Everything becomes a big deal. So your partner, if depending on the mentality and propensity of that person, they may simply become the type of person that you your forgetfulness or your lack of reminders hurts. So these type of misunderstandings, they need to be cleared up, and they can be cleared up. It's just a conversation. So don't be afraid to talk about what's truly on your mind and be open about how you feel, what's going on, what you want. Always let your partner know what you want because they can't read your mind. They tried, trust me, it didn't work. We've all tried to read the minds of our partners, but we've all found out it just don't work. It just don't work. So social and cultural differences, I really like this because my next wife, I'm American. Both of my first two wives, and I apologize for my allergies again. Both of my first two wives were Americans. But I deal with people from different countries all the time. You know what? I'm interested in being a part of a different culture, community, learning something, being excited about learning something new about the mindset of people. So, social and cultural differences, while they may be appealing, they can offer a whole different set of challenges because you may be used to doing something one way, but your potential spouse loves to do it a different way than you do. So, age gap relationships often come with a variety of social norms that are not normal for you, but they may be normal for other people. And it's all just a bunch of opinions. But they come with a variety of backgrounds. I mean, chances are you didn't go to the same schools, but if you did, that's wonderful. But you might have went to the school on one side of the country, and your partner went to the school on another side of the country. That's just social stuff. But what about cultural? And cultural is not necessarily either just about marrying someone who's not American. Cultural is about family upbringing. See, your family is a culture. And that's why when it comes to things like spiritual and religious things and connections, those things are very, very important and serious to talk about. Better to be yoked together evenly within the same spiritual realm because I've seen couples where they're two different religions in the family. They're not evenly yoked. One's being pulled this way on certain days of the year, and another's being pulled this way on other days of the year. And it creates some challenges. Now, ideally, like for me, I only have interest in people who share my spiritual values. I'm not deviating to the left, but deviating to the right. It's not something I'm willing to do, but that's just me personally. And that's a good choice to make to stay focused and to stay in harmony because spirituality takes a deep toll in your life. It's like when you have that kind of connection, it's been said that that's 70% of you getting to know each other is that type of connection. Then you've only got to work on the other 30% because who you are is defined by the things that you care the most about, your God, your religion, the way you worship. Those things make up 70% of who you are as a person if you're doing it the right way. And so when you come together with a person that shares those same values with you, see, that just brings you closer together. That adds to the harmony. That really, really, really does. So you want to embrace the differences that you have and then just learn from each other. It can be very rewarding, but also extremely enriching. But then there are other things. Women, you need to know the type of man that you're with. Some men are very controlling, but you got attention to the signs. He's not going to put up a sign that says, I'm the controlling type. He's not going to do that. This is a case where action speaks louder than words. Pay attention. Is he the kind of guy? I mean, what do you want from a guy? You want a guy to open and close doors for you? There's a lot of guys out there that will do that. You want guys that don't open doors and close doors for you? They let you have your own independence in that regard. I mean, what does independence really mean to you? I mean, remember, ladies, you always have options. Maintaining your independence and identity in a relationship is very key. You always have to be your same person or either a better version of yourself. An older man should be a complement to your life. He shouldn't define it. He should be your complement. So we're not talking about giving up your careers. We're talking about let him compliment you. You compliment him. An excellent example of a compliment is like, you add an accessory. I don't have anything here because I don't wear accessories. I don't wear chains, but women wear chains or necklaces. and they just add to the value of your dress. They make you look grander, greater. If you put the wrong one on, it makes you look weirder and stranger. But we're going for the right details. But that's what it's all about when it comes to this older man. He's a compliment to your life. Allow that to happen. So know what type of man this is. Does he want to make all your decisions? Is he going to allow you to make decisions for yourself? Does he always make decisions for both of you? I mean, you got to do this with a level head so you're paying conscious attention to these type of details. Because I've heard women say, he doesn't let me make my own decisions. I'm like, well, who told you to come to this meeting today? Well, I did. Did he know you were coming? Yeah. Okay. Well, it sounds like he made let you make your own decision. But see, sometimes people get skewed and confused about what that really means. That's why you got to do it. That's why we say get your coffee first. Relax a little bit before you start making conclusive comments about your spouse, and stop being so negative towards people at the same time. Because you don't want to create a war in your own environment with this person, because there's enough critics outside around you that are doing that for you. So keep focusing on the good of your partner so you can continue to grow, because age gap relationships always attract naysayers. They always attract people that got something to say. You robbed the cradle. I mean, you know what? People will never learn as a majority how to mind their own business, because people are controlling. And the very people that do those type of things never want someone to do it to them in return. So you got to learn to cope with criticism. You're going to have to learn to make decisions based on your happiness, not other people's opinions. Your happiness is key to the success of your relationship. And coming down to financial considerations, let's talk finances. It's a very uncomfortable conversation, but it needs to be had. You should know how much money your fiance or your husband makes. If he makes $2,000 a month, you need to know it. I know women that are so financially set, that's the last thing they're looking for. They just want the companionship, the peace, the camaraderie, the partnership. That if the man makes $2,000 a month to their $50,000 a month, it just don't matter to them. As far as they're concerned, the bills get paid. So worried about those type of things. But you still should know, what can he contribute? What will he do? I mean, it's always an imbalance, because there are a lot of professional, dynamic women in the world today. Some do YouTubes and make like $60,000 a video, 100, $220,000 a video. One of my mentors, who is a woman, a young woman on YouTube, makes a lot of money. And so it's the whole premise behind the fact that you need to be open and honest. He needs to be open and honest. You don't want a man that's going to inflate his income. He says, I make $11,000 a month. That's a great income, but he really makes $1,000. Where's he getting the rest of the money from? See, all these things are notable. I mean, is he pursuing goals? Like maybe your $50,000 a month to his $2,000 a month gives him an opportunity to, venture off and create a business for himself where he can actually double what you're making or come close to it. But the point is, you make the family grander between you and him by considering his finances. So this will help you to build trust and avoid potential conflicts. Let me tell you, when a man is open enough that he can be honest with you about his money, I mean, honest, you got a good man. A lot of men hide these truths in secrecy and they don't reveal. That man right there, if he's not revealing the money, then there's something else he's not telling you as well. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And then there's emotional support, because if he's not telling you everything, he's actually hurting you. But traditionally, older men bring emotional maturity to the table. They encourage vulnerability. They share their feelings. They don't mind opening up, because they've already been on both sides. They've been on the side where they didn't, and they caught all the challenges that came with that. So now they realize, I'm old, I don't want to deal with this stuff. Let me do something different. Let me do something better. And so they do. So create a safe space for both of you. And women, do this, because these are things that need to be considered before you make that lifelong commitment. You want to keep growing. Even when you get married, it doesn't mean you just hit the ceiling and reach the plateau. No, there's still more growth to go. There's still more ceilings to break. There's still more things to see, more things to do, and you can do it. That's why planning for your future and having these discussions is important. So when marrying an older man, long time planning is crucial. What's going to happen? You got to plan the reality. Listen, he's not going to be here as long as you are, especially if there's a 30-year difference. Life expectancy of people is 75 to 80 years of age, and that's 70 to 80 years bracket. So if he's in his 50s and you're in your 20s, that's a 30-year difference. So by the time you're in your 50s, at the age you're meeting him, this man might be dead and gone. So you got to make some long-term plans, like what's going to happen when he's gone. What is he doing for you now as you become husband and wife to protect your future? Because while you're around, he's protecting you. You ever see those situations where, family's doing good, and then all of a sudden the father dies or the mother dies, the breadwinner dies, right? The family goes into devastation because while that person was alive and their name was out there, they were able to generate business. But when they died, business stopped. So that they have a backup plan, like insurances and programs and things like that, that they have any things like that. See, that's important. That's very important. That's why you need to have these discussions. Discuss retirement. Age gracefully. Let the man age gracefully. Let him enjoy his time with you. So don't make it about pressure. It's essential that you're on the same page, but it's also essential that your connection and your love just continues to get better and better. So, in conclusion, to wrap up our incredible discussion about what a woman should look for, the things that she said know first about a man before she marries him, ladies, remember, age is just a number. Love knows no boundaries. The success of an age gap relationship lies in understanding, open communication, and genuine connections between two people, not five people, not 10 people, not families, just the two, you and him, or you and her for the men. So we want to thank you for joining us today as we've explored know this first before marrying an older man. We'll keep repeating it because it's important. Please share this video with your friends. Please give someone hope and a bright outlook on what's coming up next. So if you found this information valuable, make sure to hit the subscribe button, uh, hit the like button, share this video with a friend. We really would appreciate it. And for more relationship revelations and content, don't forget, tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. live, just like today, we have another session. Now, tomorrow we're going to be talking about something that's quite interesting and beneficial. How making excuses can ruin a relationship. See, no one's perfect, and we've all got problems, and we all have things that we really do need to work on. But excuses, making excuses, let's talk about that tomorrow. Listen, it has been great. Again, my name is Marvin Kane. I am your host. We are on the YouTube channel, Love is Not Judgmental. And as always, remember this, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.